1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, and welcome back to It's Not a Sport. Ooh, excuse me. Season 4, episode 12, I believe. It's been out of order. It's going to be out of order because I have a lot of pre-recorded talks for you guys that are very, very good, well done, including an interview with a friend of mine, Carlos. We had him back in season 2. That should be coming up relatively soon. So you have some good episodes to look forward to in the near future. But quick reminder, as always, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Really helps me out. Check out all of our social media, post content up on there. We have some new merch I think we're kind of working on at the moment that I kind of want to get out to you guys and to show off. We also have our articles all up on our website, where you can also check out games that I've made and are posted that you can play in my portfolio section as well. So definitely spend some time checking that out, exploring that, and checking out previous seasons, all archived on our YouTube channel. With further ado, let's get into this week's show, which is just going to be a news show, because over the short kind of mid-season break that I've taken, there has been a lot of news, mostly to do with Activision Blizzard. So if you want to skip this show, that is perfectly fine. If you want to kind of get caught up with the news that's happened over the last couple of months, some of the big and small things, this is the show for you. So with that, let's dive into Activision Blizzard being sued by the state of California over frat boy culture. This was broken out July 21st is when this news came out, so it's relatively old. And also there's been a couple new developments that have happened since this news has broken out. But with no surprise, this was for a lot of people, the straw that broke the camel's back, with this year of World of Warcraft's community really transitioning over to Final Fantasy, them quitting their game and giving up on it, and with years and years of mistakes from Activision and especially Blizzard's part of things, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. That's why I want to spend a little bit more time talking about this, and then we go rapid fire all over the other news. And this will be kind of an ongoing development throughout this week's show, because there's so many updates and tidbits that affect this story that you just kind of have to follow it all. Really, just to conclude, this year has been the year of Activision Blizzard. No real gaming news has come out because of last year being COVID and quarantine. This year was going to be a slow year for gaming, and it really has been. But where it's been a slow year for producing games, we've seen a lot of progression and questions being asked on mostly things. You can see it in the workforce. Why are people working and doing these wages when they're not earning enough money, working 8-hour weeks, 40-hour shifts, and seeing this type of work culture. And even not just in work in general, but also in gaming, where you're seeing, why are we paying for loot boxes? What happened to, why are games more monetized like X and Y, mobile games, etc.? Where people start asking more of these questions, things like Blizzard and frat boy culture start to show a lot more. So that's what's going on. This article, Bloomberg, they broke it, I believe. You can watch it. There was a walkout that happened a little bit after this, and the president of Blizzard, he also quit. We'll get into all that in a bit. But this Blizzard article basically kind of hovers over kind of the workplace environment, how it's been going on. Blizzard has done some other things to make them seem a little bit better. It seems mostly more on the Blizzard part than the Activision part. But this article just kind of goes over the court documents. Of course, it doesn't go over it in detail. There is a very not safe for work thing that happened, where it's like a woman ended up killing herself, and nude pictures of her were passed around the workplace, and one of the employees came with a butt plug. It's just very, very not cool. Very bad harassment, workplace harassment, and a very bad culture at Blizzard, and that's why this blew up as it did. Now, one of the things this tells me is that if they're able to do that and fuck off like that hard, they must be making a shit ton of money. Like, that's got to be one of the things that is a problem with Blizzard, and it means that the higher brass is making a lot of money, but the lower end of the spectrum, those interns, those just normal workers who can't come in their managers and speak up, aren't making enough, which again goes back to a very big question that I think our society is trying to answer and it has to face now. So with that starting, let's get into some of the other news. More from Activision Blizzard. Activision confirms that all of its core studios are working on Call of Duty. So we see this, that like on all the Activision studios, like Treyarch and Infinity Ward, and like all the other ones, just work strictly on Call of Duty now. Call of Duty is Activision's bread and butter. That's all they make now. I think the last game they produced that wasn't Call of Duty was Sekiro Shadows Die Twice was the last game they produced that wasn't Call of Duty. Among Us devs share their frustration with Fortnite's imposter game modes. And I could see this. This is a bad thing about gaming in general. Among Us was a game that came out that really blew up over quarantine because streamers started playing it. And when you have a small game and a small idea that's not as... You're not one of the big dogs. Big dogs tend to take that idea, and we see that with Fortnite. Fortnite has an imposter game mode, and they take that. And Fortnite's free, you know, even though Among Us I think is free on mobile, but it's $5 on PC. Fortnite is overall free. A lot of kids will rather go play that. They're already playing Fortnite, so they'd rather play that than Among Us, which makes the underdogs, the small people like Among Us, very mad because now they're losing money, they're losing business that they could have, that they need, rather than what Epic needs. We also have Skyrim Anniversary Edition has been announced to launch November 11th. You can upgrade to the special edition of the Anniversary Edition for free for next gen consoles. And what are they adding with this new re-release of Skyrim? Well, you guessed it, fishing. So if you want to fish in Skyrim and you don't have the mods to do that already, now you can. I don't know, I just think this is funny. California accuses Riot of misleading employees about their rights to speak up. This is no surprise. Riot also fell into that category of frat boy culture before. They kind of been on the down low ever since, but if you look, one of the very interesting things that we'll kind of go over as we progress in this week's episode is that a lot of people who worked at Blizzard also work at Riot. So it's no big surprise that those sort of culture and work culture will transition from Blizzard to Riot, or from Riot to Blizzard, depending on how long this has been going on, which is probably has been going on for a very long time. But it's no big surprise that Blizzard or Riot has the same sort of culture mindset that Blizzard has, considering that I consider Riot to be the new Blizzard. Riot has made great games, and they still kind of do, but they're taking the same path that Blizzard has taken. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers original soundtrack is out on Spotify right now. If you haven't listened to the soundtrack, I've advocated for this for a very long time. Excuse me, but the tracks on this are some bangers, especially if you haven't played the game yet. Just wait until you get, if you're playing the game, you're making way through it, wait until you get to Shadowbringers. You'll be listening to the soundtrack all the time. Funimation and Crunchyroll are now one company, and I believe that means it doesn't mean anything, but I believe Sony owns Crunchyroll. So Sony owns both Funimation and Crunchyroll now, which are probably the biggest anime distributors. Yeah, in the West. If you're not, pirating things. If you're reading or watching, or if you're watching anime illegally, you're probably watching it on Crunchyroll. That's all I'm gonna say. Berserk. The 364th chapter will be colored with a color page of Berserk will be published on September 10th. of this year, and it will have the final message of Kentaro Mura, who recently passed away earlier this year. This would probably be the last chapter that he worked on, and it's coming out in a couple days, so look forward to that. Trey Parker and Matt Stone signed a new deal to extend South Park through season 30 and making 14 original made for streaming movies exclusively for Paramount Plus. So South Park, they got a huge fucking deal. We're supposed to get 2 South Park movies, I believe, this year already alone before this year's over. And like, they had enough money that, like, these guys have enough money, they bought Casa Bonita just for the memes because they went under during quarantine. They just bought it. So I think South Park is great. It's one of my favorite shows. It's been going on since I've been a kid. It's one of those things that's just been with me throughout my life. So it's really big that they're, you know, got this much money and got a saying, and I hope they do Butters episodes exclusively, and I hope they keep doing funny shit. So this is the news that about the walkout. Blizzard, again, continuing kind of the Blizzard story. Jason Schreier, he broke this news that Blizzard, they had a walkout a couple weeks after the news broke of the lawsuit, and then the president, J. Allen Brack, he left the company. He's no longer the president of Blizzard Entertainment. It is now co-lead by 2 people, Jen Olin and Mike Yabra. They are co-leading Blizzard currently at the moment, but he left out. He had to step down probably because of the fallout. Since then, there's been some other news on the gaming side of Blizzard, but it's been relatively quiet. Assassin's Creed Valhalla director is confirmed he will helm the Dead Space remake. So that means the Dead Space remake that is coming out, that was rumored to come out, that is now confirmed to come out, that people are saying would be the next big game for EA to remaster after Mass Effect, is in the works. And the dude who made Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which a lot of people liked, is now working on the Dead Space remake. So hopefully that is good as well. Moving into more Blizzard news, the Cosby Suite. Photos reveal details of BlizzCon 2013's Cosby Suite, a group chat where Blizzard developers discuss recruiting women for sexual favors. Now, the ironic funny part of this is that it's called the Cosby Suite, and I think this was before the Bill Cosby, when he went to jail and all that. But again, just to show how bad their culture is, this is broken by Jacob Wolf. This article was July 28th, so a couple days after the big news of the company being sued. And goddamn, like, holy shit. And one of the big news is where I say, like, earlier, the dude who was also in the Cosby Suite was Ghostcrawler, who works at Riot, who's currently working on, I believe, the MMO. And he was at the Cosby Suite. There's photos of him in the Cosby Suite. And now it makes more sense on why Riot acts the way it does. A lot of, you know, those employees bring over the same culture. So it's a very interesting development. This, I believe, again, outside of the gaming stuff, which is coming up, the moves that Blizzard has made, it has been relatively quiet since then. Steam Deck, basically the Steam Nintendo Switch. They announced this a little bit earlier into the year. If you want to play the Nintendo Switch but Steam version, it will come out. Actually, I don't know if it's out. After quarter 2022. So not spring, but like summerish, I think, of next year, it will come out. It will be $400 or with 64 gigs, or you can spend about $530 for 256 gigs, or about $650 for 512 gigs and some other exclusive shit. Yeah, I mean, Valve's another one of those companies that just has so much money. I don't think they know what to do with. They just make a lot of money off of Steam. That so much that they stopped developing games. They're not really a gaming company anymore. So it makes sense that, like, they keep trying these new things to break into, like, the console market and expand Steam as a platform. And this is one of those things again. They tried the Steam Deck, which is like the console and the Steam controller and etc. And now they're, you know, looking at the success of the Switch. It's no big surprise that they decided to kind of make a Steam Switch. Will anyone buy it? Probably not, but it looks cool. Netflix to add video games on its service to no longer add cost in the next year, report says. Netflix, one of the many companies after Google, after Amazon, trying to break into gaming, because as they saw with quarantine, it is huge. So Netflix, and I don't know why they didn't do this before, there was another like Netflix like service for games. I forgot what they're called. I tried them once. The problem is that everyone wants to play the newest games, and it's hard to get the disc for the newest games. So, and Netflix still does shipping. They still do mail. It's not just purely streaming. So this is kind of cool news. This broke July 15th. We'll see how Netflix goes, where Google has seemed to fail, and we will see how Amazon goes with their game New World. Grabs, the coach of G2 will no longer be on G2. He's leaving G2. G2 League of Legends team, they did not make it to Worlds this year. This is relatively new news. So it has been kind of speculated that they're going to blow up the roster since they didn't make it to Worlds this year, which I think may be a little bit early, but who knows, since this is the first year since they've Perks has left and they've had to have a new team. So PS5 and Xbox Series X component shortage may last until 2023. Yes, this is no surprise. There's a huge shortage in chips right now because they're being used for the for consoles, they're being used for graphics cards, they're being used for phones. We don't have enough chips and things just going around right now in order to make these devices. So it's no big deal that for a while there's probably gonna be a huge shortage. Also, a big thing about this is that people don't really want to work anymore because of the wages. Again, I think most of these chips are made in Taiwan and like China, but with quarantine going on right now and COVID may be on the uprising again, it's very hard to say. Overwatch League regular season viewership increased dramatically in 2021. This is very interesting to me how Overwatch League has seen more views, while League of Legends has seen less. Overwatch League is also the game Overwatch I think is kind of dead. Like everyone's just kind of waiting for Overwatch 2. I think they're still kind of updating it. I think they just came out with like a new map a while back. But Overwatch League and Overwatch Esports seems to be prospering, where League of Legends has been on the decline, I think, in terms of esports, and it's very interesting, and I can't really tell you why. PUBG's creator, Player Unknown, as he's known, is leaving the company to form a new studio. So the dude who made PUBG is leaving the company that he made PUBG to make his own studio. We will see how this goes. You know, the dude's probably set after PUBG, but he wants to go on to do new things, as people should. Now, this is huge news. And this kind of follows a couple episodes ago about Twitch, where I think you should go revisit that episode if you haven't already, about Twitch. And this news is pro gamer. Okay, timthetapman will leave Twitch for YouTube exclusively, and it's not just timthetapman. We have, I think, Cypher PK has also left. They are for YouTube. Dr. Lupo already left for YouTube, or Dr. Lupo I think is also going for YouTube. Dr. Disrespect has been on YouTube for a while now, and a lot of people are going over to YouTube as a streaming platform and leaving Twitch behind. Now for YouTube, this is good because one, they're doing something that Microsoft didn't with Mixer, is that they're building an ecosystem. These guys often play together a lot. They all play together, where when Mixer just got Ninja, it's like planting a planting a plant in bad soil. You know, they took Mixer, a big plant, and they put it in bad soil, but the soil wasn't good, so eventually the tree withered and died. But if you take But if you already have big, good soil, very good soil, which YouTube is one of the biggest social media platforms out there, it's huge. And then you take multiple of the same types of plants, so they're around each other, and plant them together, then they'll start to flourish. They'll start to have their seeds, and they'll start to grow a lot more. I guess is a good analogy to put this business deal in. But it is huge that he's moving away, because Twitch we've seen kind of die off this year. They've been having somewhat of a interesting time. We've already had the talk about it with the whole terms of service, the hot tub streams, the fart cam streams, whatever the fuck those were when they happened. Now what's going on? They had the day off Twitch, which didn't do anything because people took a day off streaming, which is stupid. To stop the hate raids, because people are making bots and they go into chats and they spam the N-word, which is ridiculous. But it's all fucking ridiculous. And we've seen Twitch staff kind of vaguely not acknowledge any of this or say anything about this. So, and YouTube has always been somewhat of a better platform, I think, as Twitch, especially when it comes to video content. Is the chat bad on YouTube? Yes, but they can fix the chat. So having these moves and having people like Tim and the two doctors and all that move over to YouTube is pretty big. Because a lot of people watch Worlds and they'll watch League on YouTube. They don't watch it on Twitch. They don't use the Twitch link. They use the YouTube link. So think about that for a second. Rumor Nintendo will expand its Switch online service with Game Boy and Game Boy Color titles. This is huge. I think they should really double down on Switch Online. They did this for the Wii U, where the Wii U had a lot of old games that you could emulate on it with like the Nintendo emulator, and I think they should do that with Switch Online. That's already done. Being able, I went back and played like Legend of Zelda. It wasn't the famous ones. It was like linked. I think it was Linked to the Past. One of the old 2-bit or 2D games, and it was really fun to play and just experience those games that are extremely old on your Switch with updated save features and all that. Make sure to have those. But yes, this is really cool to have Game Boy games on the Switch, because this means that we could see OG Pokemon Red and Blue on the Switch. Worlds for League of Legends 2022 is no longer going to be held in China. It's going to be held in Iceland again after MSI and Europe. This is probably due to COVID regulations again. They probably couldn't get the venue in China because of this new COVID strain, and they're very, very hard on that. So Iceland, being in the middle of fucking nowhere, is probably the best bet. We are almost done with the news before we get into esports. China, and we'll have an episode about this, so I want to go over this real fast, but this is an episode coming up in the near future as well, probably in a couple weeks, probably towards the end of the month. China has forbidden under 18 people under 18 from playing video games for more than 3 hours a day 3 hours a day a week, which means I believe you can only play for an hour a day on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which is ridiculous. Again, I just want to bring that out to people's attentions in case they missed that. But if you want to know more about that will be in a future episode, so look forward to that. So, this was the Blizzard gaming news that I want to talk about. Where it said they've been very relatively quiet since the walkout, and people doing statements and shit on the business side of things. They decided to do a message for the Warcraft community because they were losing players to Final Fantasy. One, I believe, the next phase of the Burning Crusade Classic comes out on September 15th. So for all Classic players, there's that. Then they've been working with Classic Plus, which is going to be like Classic, but I guess with new additions or experiences. Maybe they make a new boss, makes it harder or something like that. So there's that thought going around as well. But I think why this made a lot of people mad, mostly, is because of the Shadowlands 9.15 update. So I've been following kind of World of Warcraft community closely, especially this year, especially me kind of getting into the Burning Crusade Classic and playing that. I really enjoyed that. Haven't had a whole lot of fun since that this year, actually. And, well, I stated my problems about that in a previous episode, but the WoW community too is like, they have this meme of like the cycle of the expansion, where it goes that they release a video and it gets hyped and the expansion comes out, and then it's bad and it's bad and it's bad, and then they release another video for the next expansion, and then they finally fix that current expansion by adding all the updates that people were asking for. Well, because this game has been dying, they seem to be adding those fixed updates in 9.1.5 rather than 9.3, for example. So this is kind of huge. It's good for WoW. It's good for people like me who are not really into WoW and would love to come and check it out, and now I don't have to deal with all that bullshit. But for people who love WoW and love your game and been asking for these changes since like alpha or beta of Shadowlands before it even got released, and it had a year how it currently is, I can see why you get mad. Yes, things are supposed to get easier over time, but when the problem could have been fixed months before the product actually shipped, and now you're fixing it, it's not a thing to be happy about, it's a thing to be mad about. So this was Blizzard's move to be, hey guys, we know you're mad, and we're finally gonna give you what you want. Please come back and play our game, and ignore all the bad stuff that's kind of happened with us. Like, our game, here's what you want, here's what you've been asking for, come back and play. And that's fine and all, but it's not good. It's not a victory. So Halo will not have traditional XP. It will have a players will progress through a battle pass, even though this means no match XP at launch. So that's some Halo news. This is kind of the thing with gaming now, where you're not really playing with XP and progress. You're playing to do those challenges, those X and Y challenges, kill X people. We talk about this a little bit, I think, in another episode, but that's gaming now. It's not about fun, it's not about progression, it's just hop on, do your challenges, log off. Korea is axing its games curfew. So we also talk about this in the future episode where we talk about China's time limit. So I look forward to this, but Korea had a gaming curfew, which means that at, I believe, midnight to 6 a.m., you have to go. And really, this is all because of PC bangs. If you know what PC bangs are, they're basically computer labs that people come and pay for time and play games at. And that's really why, and these two cultures have a big amount of PC bangs and other PC bars, or whatever the fuck you want to call them, and that's why these sort of laws are in place. Oh, and also we have some news from Gamescom. Nothing big. We have this Marvel Midnight Sun is coming out March 2020. We have a new Saints Row that's also coming out as well. And then it wasn't anything huge. It was just some small stuff because, there's nothing huge. But one thing I do want to note, and that I've noticed, is Marvel recently has been really trying to break into the gaming scene. They've tried with, and they've been putting out a lot of Marvel video game products that aren't Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is like co-owned by like Sony or something like that. There's some sort of deal there with Sony and Marvel have to agree in order to use Spider-Man. But when it comes to everything else, especially now that they own X-Men, I think they've been really trying to push into the gaming scene, which I think is interesting. This is the new Saints Row as well. So again, Saints Row will come to PC on February 25th of next year. And then California, again, the lawsuit has been expanded, and that's an ongoing investigation. So now we finally get a break for a bit. 30 minutes already. Woo. No break intro, outro, or anything like that. Maybe I'll just edit the music here for the shit of it. But let's get into esports before we wrap up this week's show real fast. So Overwatch League, over the last couple weeks, the Overwatch League has been going on, and currently for the West, we have Dallas in first, followed by Los Angeles Gladiators, then Atlanta, then San Francisco, then Houston, then Washington, then Toronto, then Paris, then Boston. Then the postseason playoffs cutoff point happens, and in 10th is Florida, Mayhem, London, and then Vancouver. For the East, we have Shanghai Dragons in first, followed by Chengdu Hunters, then Seoul Dynasty, then Philadelphia Fusion, Hangzhou Spark, and then playoff cutoff point. In 6th, we have New York, Gangsu Chargers, and last place is Los Angeles Valiant. Valorant Esports, they are going into their Masters in Berlin, and currently in the semifinals, people who've made it are Paper Rex, Vision Strikers, Ascent, Supermassive Blast, Team Envy, Vico Kide, Zeta Division, Kuro Esports, Crazy Raccoon, Gambit, Haven Liberty, and 100 Thieves. And then in Group D, we also have Sentinels, G2, and F4Q. They should be playing relatively soon, I believe. With the first games being, in Berlin on September 10th, this Friday. So look forward to that. League of Legends, all the world's teams are in. They haven't been pulled groups yet, but for China, their first seed, in order seed, will be Edward Gaming, Fun Plus Phoenix, Royals Never Give Up. For Korea, it is Damwon, Genji, and T1. For Europe, it is Madline and Fnatic. For North America, it's 100 Thieves and Team Liquid. And for Taiwan, or PCS, it is PSG Talon, as always. For qualifier play-ins, we have LNG for China. Hangwon Life, Chovy himself actually made it. I actually had to break my fast of League because Chovy made it. So Chovy will be on play-ins. Then we have Rogue, followed by Cloud9. Beyond Gaming from Vietnam is yet to be decided. I don't think they're participating, actually. They may not be participating. For CIS, which is Russia, Unicorns of Love. Latin America, Infinity Esports. Turkey, it's Galactic Esports. Brazil, it's Red Kedan. For Japan, it's always the Detonation Focus Me. And for Oceania, it's Peace. Last but not least, the games that have come out starting in August. Nothing big, really. We had Psychonauts 2 that come out. That was August's big release. Marvel's Avengers War for Wakanda DLC came out. Quake 2021. What else do we have? Madden, NFL 22, Ghost of Tsushima's Director's Cut. Sniper Wolf, nothing huge again this year is going to be done. For September, we'll have Ark Survival, Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition for Stadia, Pathfinder on PC, Golf Club Westlands for consoles. I think the big one this month will be Tales of Arise for PS5. That comes out on September 10th. NBA 2K 2022, that also comes out on September 10th. Life is Strange True Colors, that also comes out on September 10th. Pokemon Unite comes out on September 22nd. There was already beta about this. Death Stranding Director's Cut comes out on the 24th. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot for the Switch comes out on the 24th. This game's already out. Darksiders 3 comes out for the Switch on September 30th. And that's really it until we get into October and really the holiday season overall. So, and really I'm just waiting for November until we get to Endwalker on the 23rd. So that's going to conclude, this week's show. Ooh, perfect timing, actually. 33 minutes, I think, is a good episode. We had a ton of news to go over to. I hope you enjoyed this week's news, but look forward to the future because there are some very good talks and very good episodes coming up in the near future. Quick reminder, as always, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It will really help me out. If you want to check out all of our previous shows, they are archived on our YouTube channel, or check out our articles on our website, or some of the games I made as well. This has been your host, Salty Waffles, signing off, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful climb.